And we're live. What's up, guys? How's it going? All right. Let's give it a few minutes for people to queue up. We're about to do sample break number 3. So let's see. We should be live at the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group page. And my audio is on. And also on, of course, Collector Arthouse YouTube. All right. So we were almost prepared this time. Let's do a little zoom with the overhead cam. We got a live auction going on, ending tonight. Is it tonight? There's 2 tonight. So we have the Curio sketch card. This is the one of the top sketch cards, the Curio. One of the top Curios, the sketch card. In fact. So there you go. It's the Eric's Curiosa sketch card. Really high-end Curio. Today we're here for the sample break number 4. So this is 4 of 12 packs that we're doing for the sample pack breaks. I'm not sure that I'm going to break all 12. Probably not. I'm definitely going to keep a few for myself. But this is number 4 in the series. We've gotten some interesting hits so far. I was almost ready this time, guys. So I was just printing out labels. So what we do is we break the pack, we label it up, and then we spin the wheel of names. All right, so let's get these pre-labeled, and it will be good to go. We got Dave Trog today is going for 3 slots, and Dave has been in a few of the other breaks, so thank you for participating in those, both the sample pack breaks, and then every once in a while here we're also doing box breaks. But when box prices started going pretty parabolic, you know, so we were doing those early on when box prices were at, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500. Do you ever not stream? No. I love going live. That's kind of like my new MO. I do, it's hard to find time for recording, so I usually do like a market update, I don't know, every week and a half to 2 weeks. I'd like to do it weekly. I'm actually, guys, talking with another YouTube personality, I'll say, who used to be on a recurring podcast for another game, other TCG games in general. So I'm in talks with him about potentially launching we're going to try maybe a weekly podcast series. So it'll be like probably not live, although that could be interesting too. I don't know. I didn't really give that much thought, live versus recorded. I was thinking recorded, but that would publish weekly. And that's probably better, given we both have young kids, so it gets pretty problematic. But yeah, that'll likely be like a weekly pod, maybe like an hour. We'll do it over YouTube on the Collector Arthouse YouTube channel. It'll post there, and then also I could post that. I did launch a Collector Arthouse podcast a while back, and what I did basically was convert a few interviews that I did. I did an interview with Zach Bunn from Team Covenant, and what else did I post on there? Did I do I don't know if I converted the Ed Beard Jr. one because the audio quality wasn't as good. Ed was doing that from his studio garage and where he does his paintings for actually the Sorcery miniseries. And we were having some technical challenges that day. Probably my fault on my end with StreamYard. Ed's kids are actually very technical savvy, so they know exactly what they're doing. He does a high quality production. Mine is always, as you know, minimal acceptable quality, MAQ. So that one I don't think I converted. I think I had the one with Zach from Team Covenant, and maybe the other one was Tony Sublow or something. Tony's been on the channel several times, so we always have a good time, and he's a popular, fun guest that people love to hear from. Always has something interesting to say. Sometimes leaks a few things inadvertently, so we get some good intel. All right, so there's the 15. We got Destro for 2, Peacemaker for 2. Oh wait, that's not coming across too good. Hang on a second. Let me do. All right. So we have Destro for 2, Peacemaker for 2, WTK Fan has 2, Skemp has 3, Robert M for 1, Purple Squish for 2, Dave Trog for 3. All right. So we got those. You know, maybe we'll take a look at some cards later. So I'm going to put those aside. I usually open with showing some fun stuff, you know, but you guys are here for the breaks. So we'll do the break first, and then per usual, if we get through this in a reasonable amount of time, you know, always questionable when I'm running the show because I run my mouth a lot. But at the end we'll show maybe some cool like artist proofs, or if you guys are interested in something specific, let me know. But I got a few pretty hot things we can take a look at just for fun, sorcery related, of course. All right, so we got our top loaders. What we do is crack the pack. I got the Wheel of Fortune ready here. Where's that baby at? Yeah, so I figured out how to do all three at once and just click around. So this might be a little more orderly than usual. Check this out. The little switcheroo. StreamYard, baby. Getting the hang of it. So Dave Trog for 3, Purple Squish for 2, Robert M for 1, Skemp for 3, WTK Fan for 2, Peacemaker for 2, and Destro for 2. Should be 3, 5, 6, 9, 11, 13, 15. All right, we're good for 15. And here is the pack. This is the hot moment where you watch me struggle for the pack. So what we do, here, let me do it again like this. I try to open this carefully to preserve the piece of history that is the sample pack itself. Press the shuffle button 3 times to randomize names. You must be trolling me, man. The randomization of the randomization is a recurring inside joke meme on the stream. And let me zoom out so you guys can watch me like a moron struggle with these packs. These heavily super glued packs. I watched a what was it? Pokey Knowledge or something was talking about these people. There were this network of people that were like scamming with breaks by doing something off screen. Man, this is always brutal. So I'm sensitive to the fact that people want everything on screen all the time for credibility. I mean, obviously my credibility is very high in the community. I've been doing this for 2 years. Different aspects, YouTube I started like later, but I did my website www.collectorarthouse.com, and I want to go a little wider on this. So that was a pretty nice clean break. But I don't want to mess with the edges of the cards. All right, there we go. So we got it out pretty cleanly. There's a little piece of glue resonance or something, or a thread. That might be from the sticker, actually. So that came right off. All right, so I preserved the pack pretty good. Yeah, so I started with the collectorarthouse.com website, and then, a few months later, launched the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group. I have an artist SCR, Artist Proofs and Altars group, a sorcery art marketplace group, and these are on Facebook. Collector Arthouse Discord. These all launched kind of like within a few months of each other. Just kind of thought it would be interesting to have more specialized platforms for different purposes and things. And then I got into YouTube and started having fun. I actually got on with, I was never on camera. I was doing some just non-webcam type stuff, just showing cards and talking about things about sorcery. And then Ted's Basement graciously invited me onto his show, was it? I think I went on his channel, and that was like my first, face on cam experience. But it was actually pretty fun. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll just get into this a little bit. And then I started doing like more content about different topics. It always seems like the market update. So here, this is what we do. We sleeve up the packs. We're going to randomize the packs, and then we're going to draw names from the wheel. But yeah, it always seems like my market update videos do the best. People are very interested in the collectability aspect of sorcery, the speculation and investing type nature, that type of market analysis, supply and demand, and pricing dynamics, and those types of things. However, like, my content is much more diverse than that. Like, I like the art focused things and showing paintings and artist proofs. I work with probably almost half of the Sorcery Alpha artists to offer their original paintings and artist proofs and hand embellished prints and things, and special offers through Collector Arthouse Patreon. But I also am very much into the history of sorcery. So I have a lot of like historical collectible items, everything from sample packs, both silver and art pack, to special rare promos and Spellcraft cards, which were early like play test, I guess, or development type cards. Other kind of like local home printed playtest cards from the developers as they were developing the game. The company sent me like a token uncut sheet, which is really amazing. Really appreciate that. So we have one Atlas. You know, these Atlas cards in the sample packs are particularly rare. We usually see mostly spellbook cards. But typically what I've seen in most packs is you might end up with 1, 2, or 3 of the Atlas cards. So, you know, it kind of makes sense. There's less Atlas cards than spellbook cards in general in the alpha set. And then another thing to know on sample cards is that these were printed fairly early on, I would say, like well before Kickstarter debuted. So it was in the early-ish or earlier development stages of the game. So you can have changes. I've done several videos documenting the complete history of sample cards, and also have a couple articles on the topic on collectorarthouse.com if you guys want to go learn everything there is to know about sample cards. But they were printed in, we believe, around the fall of 2022, I want to say. No, fall of 2021, because the Kickstarter came out in March of 2022. So it's been quite a while, like a year and a half, and here we are now with the debut after a few delays. But it was early stages, right? So so much has changed with the sample cards. There's everything from the card titles to the everything. The card titles, everything except the paintings. However, some of the illustrations were actually not used in alpha. So those are very interesting, unique, in a sense, sample cards, in that we don't expect there to be sample cards ever again. So those cards that were not used in alpha are pretty special and interesting, because those will be very limited. They'll be the only form of sample cards we see for those cards, and they're not in alpha, so they're kind of like an outlier type thing. All right, so we had 2 Atlas cards here. So in the early development stages, there were many changes, from card title to type line text to card mechanic to flavor text. I actually had a recommended flavor text on Severin Pinot's sleep card, you know, that Eric liked, and he actually had it on a digital print file copy of one of the versions of Sleep along the way, but they ended up changing that for alpha, so that was like a big bummer. Someone was saying Raul, I used to call him Raul. He says his name is Raul, like Paul. In my Patreon tells me that he was just toying with me, I think, but he was like, what if there is a curio card with the flavor text that I came up with? Because he knows I was really partial to that one, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen that yet, but I want to see all the copies of Sleep by Severin, guys, because if by some odd-end miracle that made it in as a curio, that would be extremely special to me on a personal level, and I would die for that card. But that's probably wishful thinking, guys. Yeah, so what's up, Michael Nielsen? Bitter Cardboard's here. What's up, Paul? Thanks for the nice compliment. Who gets the sample card packaging? I don't know. I got like a collection of wrappers going. I'm just kind of setting those aside. We got someone on Facebook that says Yo Morning, so I can't tell the names on Facebook. If you guys are able to join on YouTube, that works much better. I could actually see what your YouTube name is. Let the wheel decide. It's better so names aren't batched on wheel. No, so with the okay, is that right? Oh, I see what you're saying. So spin the wheel a few times, and that. Oh, what's up, Nick? Yeah, thanks for chiming in, man. Yeah, so on the wheel, yeah, I see what you mean. Let's go to the wheel really quick. So on the wheel, you're saying, yeah, the names are kind of clumped. You got Dave Trog 3. So we'll spin it a few times, and then here we'll do 3 spins, like he says, right, to kind of mix up the order of the names. Let's see if that actually does that. Just kind of out of a test here. Of course, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Let's see. Does it actually? I don't think it jumbles it up. No, it'll stay in that order. Each spin. All right, so I'm just gonna ignore that, close that, so we keep them on the wheel. You see what I mean? Like I'll spin it 3 times anyway, because we said we'll spin 3 times. That way, no one's upset that's saying like, oh, that was my first card, and it ends up being the File of Stone or the Predestination, which preceded the Keith era mechanism. But you see how like when I spin each time, it keeps the order around the wheel. It doesn't really matter, guys. It's still randomized. I don't know how this wheel works, but it spins enough times that it's going to be random regardless. And you see me shuffling here. on the sideboard screen, so you know it's randomization upon randomization. All right, so we spun 3 times, then we're going to do an official spin. Let's see. Press shuffle on top. Oh, on top? Oh, this shuffle? Oh, okay. Let me see what this does. Hang on. I'll let you know when it's real deal time. Okay, I got you now. Thanks, man. All right, so I'm going to click shuffle 3 times. That's 2 and that's 3. Now the names are shuffled up. All right, nice. It took the 4th time to learn how this actually works. Now we have the names randomized across the wheel. We got Skemp, still bundled a little bit because he's got 3. Dave Trog is now mixed up a bit. All right, now we're in good shape. I also randomized the sample cards here. So we're going to spin the wheel, and we got everything completely randomized. So the buy-in, it's $300 per slot or $275 per slot if you buy 2 or more. This is the fourth pack. I have several more packs of the sample cards, so we'll definitely do like at least a few more breaks, and then I got to decide how many packs I'm going to keep for my own personal collection. And I'll probably encase like a pack or 2. Like I'm going to have like a nice probably encased display. I am talking, guys, with Bearish. Some of you guys might know Bearish if you're in the Flesh and Blood scene. I think they're big in that. So I sent them several SKUs, meaning several like sorcery products to include. Man, what did I send them? I sent them a booster box. I sent them a sample silver pack, a sample art pack, a pre-con kit. So they could, I told them they can measure the pre-con kit box and also open it if they want to make cases for the individual pre-con decks, or if they want to make, they're going to make a form-fitting case for the alpha packs themselves. So, several SKUs potentially. I think they're deciding which ones they're going to make cases for. And then, I don't know, I'll try to strike a deal with them and maybe offer it through my Patreon for starters, just so it's manageable logistics. There's already 90 people in there, so it's still a lot of like logistics and shipping. But I want to be able to offer those at a great price. And then, maybe more broadly. We'll see. All right, so we did the shuffle. All right, guys, I think we're ready to go. Let's go with go back to the wheel view. All right, this is going to be our first official spin. Here we go. First spin of the wheel. First spin, 15 cards in the sample pack, and it's Skemp. Looks like it's going to be yellow Skemp for number 1. All right, so we're going to remove him from the list. This will be 1 of 3 for Skemp. So he's off the list. Back to the overhead view. Let me get his top loader ready. So we got everything sleeved up. I'll put these off to the side a little bit. So we'll just go top of the pile for each card, right? 15 cards in the pack, already pre-sleeved. First card for Skemp. We got 1 slot that'll be unique or elite. Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for joining in, man. 1 slot unique or elite, 3 exceptional, or 3 exceptional. Zooms on the fingers, and 11 ordinary. So actually the banger hits. All right, let's talk about the hits before we get into it. Quick preamble here, if you'll amuse me. We got the Philosopher's Stone. I auctioned one of those. It sold for $16,500 last year. We have Predestination, the card that preceded Kythera Mechanism, right? It was the same card, just different name and a different game mechanic too. So there's been some change on that. But that illustration, that one sold for 10 grand and for 3 grand. So that's a big time high end unique card. I think there's been I sold 2 of those, the 2 I just mentioned via the auction system, and then there was 2 others I think that have been discovered across the Kickstarter pledge packs. There's 244 packs in the Kickstarter pledge fulfillment, and I think I've seen 2 emerge on eBay or the social media forums. Massive price tags on eBay. People are on these high-end, unique, and elite foils, or not foils, samples. They're just showing up on eBay, and people are fishing for bids. But then in the exceptional slot, you have Screaming Skull from Melissa Benson, which became an elite in alpha. You have the gems, the Melissa Benson gems, as they're called, in the sample card form, which became the cores, part of the Alchemy 9 or the Alchemy top tier, the Alchemy 5. Those are in the exceptional slot. So those are huge hit potential, very high value. I think I sold one of those for around $1,000 in the auction, I don't know, a few months back. So anyway, top card, those are the hits we're looking for. Men of Lang. All right, really cool Drew Tucker artwork. I thought he said he was going to bring this one to Gen Con, and I heard that he yesterday. Let's do it like this, so when I go review later, we can see the cards without the label obscuring the card. So that's Skemp's first hit, Men of Lang. Really cool. Drew Tucker artwork. You know, Drew Tucker's a legend, so you can't go wrong with the Drew card. All right, so we're going to go back to the wheel. Give it a spin here. Yeah, so also interesting, as I was saying, there's a card like Empyrean Net is one I pulled in a prior break. That's a beautiful artwork by Drew Tucker. All right, first card for Dave Trog. A beautiful artwork that was not used in alpha. You know, so that's one of those initial or interesting outliers of a sample card that exists for a card that will not be in alpha. So it'll likely be in Arthurian Legends or something in the future. We're not sure. All right, so we're going to remove Dave from the list. One of Dave's 3 cards. Go back to the overhead cam. And right off the... Nope. You know what? I don't have to lift the whole pile. I'm going to take the first one right off the top of the pile for Dave Trog. Get it nice and centered and focused. Here we go. Ooh. The beautiful Blood Ravens. So Blood Ravens by Mikhail Nagypal. Tremendous artist. Mikhail's one of the artists I work with, and I've... secured a few commission jobs for some fans with Mikhail, and one of those was this Blood Ravens painting. And he did a bit of a different take on it. You know, the color tones are a little different, but it's absolutely gorgeous artwork. We did that one. We did a reimagined sinkhole that had like the landscape sinkhole view, and then in the background, he painted his Dark Tower, one of his tower Atlas land illustrations, and it looked absolutely amazing. And there was one more, I think it was Cloud Spirit was the third commission that we did with Mikhail. Man, he's a tremendous artist. Really awesome guy, super creative. All right, spin of the wheel. 2 ordinaries so far. 13 cards to go. And is it Peacemaker? All right, Peacemaker 763. 1 of 2. Let's find him in the top loader stack. All right, so we're going to remove his 1 of 2 from the list. Go back to the overhead cam, right off the top. So the only thing we know through this methodology is if it's Spellbook or if it's an Atlas card. It's all completely randomized, so we won't know the rarity until we flip it. Here we go. The Giant Shark. You know? What's the guy's name on Louis' podcast, Kitchen Table TCG? I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he's obsessed with this card. He loves this Alan Pollock artwork, so he's going to be gunning for this one maybe. So that's our first exceptional. This is a really great artwork by Alan. Man, he is a very, very skilled artist. His paintings look like unbelievably realistic, like they're photographs. You know, and the quality, you almost can't believe it's not digital. Look at the finish quality on this. I did an interview with Alan. He might have been like one of the first artists that I interviewed. And I think, if I remember correctly, I forget if it was Giant Shark. That really is an insane artwork, man. That's really cool. I forget if it was this one or the Unlined Angler also has like the fishing lure coming out of his mouth. But I think it was this one. Alan said he drew the mermaid there kind of for perspective to show how it is a giant shark. You know, so it gives a little scale in the composition to show how much larger it is than this mermaid figure, which you would imagine to be. Yeah, Josh, that's right, from the podcast. He loves this card. So yeah, that's a really awesome hit. So congratulations to Stefan, my brother in Italy, man. So we got a lot of Europeans, a lot of great Europeans that support me in the channel through the Patreon. So I appreciate you guys a lot. Super nice, generous people. So congrats to you, man. That's really great. He is a huge Francesca Berald fan, so I know he's looking for the Francesca cards. All right, guys. Spin of the wheel. Here we go. All right. Looks like Robert. All right. Patreon is YouTube. No, the Patreon is it's Patreon. It's a different platform where you can support content creators or creatives or whatever you want. You know, it's like a monthly subscription thing, and creative types can offer benefits. So I offer like a number of benefits there. you can go read about it. Just go to patreon.com and look for Collector Arthouse. And, you know, a lot of artist-centric things and various offers that I offer through that. I won't bore the whole crowd with that sales pitch. All right, Robert M. So we're going to remove him from the list. Go back, or just DM me later, man. I'll tell you all about it. All right, so Robert M. We've only hit 1 exceptional and 2 ordinaries, so we still got some potential bangers here. And, ooh, Spire Lich. So another second exceptional. Vasily Ermolayev. This is a really cool artwork. Every time I see this, I think this should be like an avatar. You know, it's got that vibe with this Spire Lich figure that looks like he should be an avatar. An exceptional undead watches over the realm. This is a beautiful artwork, man. I'd love to see some of his pieces in person. I have not seen any of Vasily's works in person, and actually he's having a hard time right now because he lives in Russia, you know, and with all the war and political strife that's going on, it's really hard to get mail in and out of Russia right now. I'm not sure that it's even possible, actually. So, to my knowledge, he has not received his artist proofs yet. That's been an issue, and we're not sure when he will. So, it's unfortunate. Hopefully he does. He's a great guy. All right, so back to the wheel. What do we got left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, Peacemaker number 2. All right, we got our second of 2. He had 2 slots in this break. Peacemaker 763. He had the giant shark on the first go around. So he's off the list. Back to the overhead cam. And right off the top, here we go. Melissa Benson, the Coral Reef Kelpie. So it's another ordinary beast of the tidal wilderness. Submerge, and the last free land lies under the sea. So always beautiful, always colorful, always immediately recognizable Melissa Benson artwork. One of the legends of sorcery. It's funny, like every couple of months, people come on the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group and they say, like, what is this little symbol here on Melissa Benson artworks? Is that a curio? Is that a print error? What is that? But that is actually the way Melissa signs her cards. And she actually, someone asked this question very recently, and like almost all of the Sorcery Alpha artists are in the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group, which is awesome because they're always in there, very active, liking posts and being a great part of the community and chiming in from time to time. So Melissa saw this post and she explained how she embeds this into all of her paintings. It's actually on the painting itself. And I've seen that because I actually sold one of her paintings, the salamander. Gorgeous painting. These look really beautiful in person. You can see the beautiful background blends and the very colorful artworks that she does with different colored pencils and different mediums and things. But she mentioned how she embedded that to ensure, to protect her copyright basically, and ensure that it was retained with the card and her signature was retained with the artwork and the illustration when it was printed on the card. So very smart and very cool, interesting, signature design approach that she has on all her work. So she's done that for decades, dating back to Magic the Gathering and carrying through to Sorcery Contested Realm Alpha. All right, back to the wheel. Here we go. WTK. All right, WTK fan has what? 2? 2 in the pack. It's funny. I was trying to figure out what is WTK. Anybody have any guesses following the stream? I think of cynically think of the BTK killer when I see WTK, but I have no idea what that could mean. It's probably like a game or something, right? Welcome to K. What the hell is it? All right, first ever sample card. There's Eric. All right, so this is Eric. He's WTK fan. Maybe he'll tell us what WTK means. This is his first ever sample card, he says. So good luck, man. I hope you hit big here. The Wild Boars. All right, so another Vasily Ermolayev. The Boars, these beasts are pretty popular. People, I think, make beast decks, so it's kind of cool. Totally unguessable, but I'll let you know later. Okay, thanks, man. All right, Wild Boars. Ordinary beasts of Holdback Bristle. Now, isn't there a card that goes and summons beasts? Hang on a second. Let me see. Doesn't the Highland Falconer summon a beast? I actually have a copy here. I'm going to show you. This is not a sample card. So, from my little box here, is my little paint box that Elvira Shakarova sent me. It says, you may search your hand and spellbook for a beast with airborne and mana, cost 2 or less, and summon it here. Alright, so 2 or less, but it has to have airborne. Alright, so I guess that summon effect doesn't work with the wild boars. But, you know, beast decks I think are a thing, so that's kind of cool. And that's a really awesome... All these artworks are really amazing by Vasily. So I love all of his cards. Those are fun to collect. So that's a cool little sample card. The beast cycle, as they say. The wild boars. Alright, back to the wheel. That was 1 of 2 for you. We're getting about halfway through the pack. And if we get done in a reasonable amount of time, we can show some stuff and just talk sorcery a bit if you guys want to hang out. Yeah, Assorted Animals is... oh, okay. Assorted Animals is an amazing card. It's probably... it's just a hilarious card and a hilarious illustration. I love that one from Vasily. I think that was one of the ones that were later to be revealed, you know? So that was also kind of special in that regard. It's not one that we saw like digitally for a year before the game came out, so it's kind of cool and unique and special. Looks on Blood card earlier. All right, so Purple Squish. We're moving from the wheel. Purple Squish, this is his first of 2, so right off the top. Oh, first for you too, man. First sample card for Purple Squish. Good luck, man. Lightning Bolt. Oh, man, this is a great hit. Now, it's only an ordinary, but Lightning Bolt is so iconic, just like it is in Magic. You know, in the early days, you could see the casting cost of 0 and just 1 threshold. And then there was a special feature article that Emberleaf in the Discords, he's one of the developers for the game, really nice guy. Rafa is his name, Raphael. He's down in Brazil, and he was one of the first... developers, card design developers hired by the company. So he's been around since the very early days on Discord. Really nice guy. You know, I developed a friendship with him, and he wrote a really nice article about the evolution of Lightning Bolt and the different iterations through the development stage and why they made those changes. So this is a gorgeous artwork, probably my favorite by Asi Haikala, if I had to. He was also having a hard time getting his artist proofs, by the way. I think they were shipped to him, somehow returned to New Zealand, and then presumably shipped back out. I'll have to reach out to him to see if he got them yet. But this is a really great artwork, really highly meta-relevant card. So that is a big hit for Purple Squish. Congrats, man. In my opinion, rarity is not king in sample cards. It's more about the nuance, the meta-relevancy and significance, the degree of change, whether it's an alpha or not. Those are the type of things that are going to carry value. So I think this is one that's going to be valuable in the long run and sought after, just high demand, because the gorgeous artwork, a cool card, very highly meta relevant, and just checks a lot of boxes in those regards. All right. Oh, you bought a Bolt sample for $165? That's a steal, man. That is a good deal, in my opinion. If I saw that, I'd probably scoop that up myself. Was that on eBay? People are giving it away, man, at that price, in my opinion. That's wild. There's been tons of sample cards sold through my auction at 200 plus, even at the ordinary level. And that was, I'm sure I sold a few of those, as I recall. All right, Purple Squish again. Hits the wheel twice. Despite the randomization, you still get a double hit. All right. All right, Purple Squish. Right off the top, we still have not hit either of those 2 Atlas cards just yet. That is a great pickup, no doubt. All right, here we go. Land Deed. All right, so you got the third and last exceptional in the deck. We're not going to hit a gem today, but this is another beautiful artwork by Elvira Palakowska. And what I might do, if you guys remind me at the end, is I could show you some of Elvira's artist proof cards. So she sent me 2 or 3 complete sets of her artist proof cards and her beautiful detailed sketches. I've auctioned several of those. The higher end ones, the uniques, and then I'll probably offer those via a claim sale, like I described on my live event last night, where I'll post on the SCR artist proofs and altars page I'll announce it there, maybe on the community group and also in the Collector Arthouse Discord, and post those, and people will be able to claim those at a fixed price instead of auction format, since there's several of hers and also several of Vincent Pompetti. A lot from Vincent Pompetti. So that's the way we'll offer those to kind of expedite a bit and make those more readily available for folks rather than waiting day by day for the auctions. We'll still have the auctions for some of the higher end uniques and elites and things like that from some of these artists, and some of the artists in particular that, they make their work slowly available because they're so busy with other things like Severin and Elvira Shakarova and a few of the other artists. It just takes time to do the painting work. So it's kind of like, it's a bit of a process for artist proofs for sure. And then there's another artist I'll be working with that's going to be announced in September. Big one. So stay tuned for that. That'll be very exciting. All right, Scamp had 3. This is his second of 3. So we'll remove him from the wheel. Go back to overhead cam. Here's Scamp. All right. Right off at the top of the deck. Somehow buried in here are those Atlas cards. Are they going to be the last 2? No. All right, it's coming up in a few. It's kind of down there. All right, Scamp. Here we go, man. Common sense. So I had Angerworm on last night. Jarrett Messing is his name. He just won Gen Con, the top winner. He won Elvira Shakarova's amazing Mix Ignis mix painting. My favorite of her 4 mixes. Her favorite, I think she told me, is Mixed Terra, I want to say. I was like, no, you're wrong. It's Ignis. It's Ignis for me, for sure. But Jared was telling me that this is a very highly relevant tutor card. Now, I'm not sure if it changed. Like I say, there was a lot of change from sample card to final alpha version. So it could have been anything from the casting cost. I know the card title is the same. Obviously, the illustration is the same. But this is one of those that has that powerful tutor effect that he said he kind of like looks at it as a second copy of something. Well, actually, let's see what this one did. Search your spellbook for an ordinary card, reveal it to your opponent, and draw it, shuffle your spellbook. All right, so you can go and look for a card of that rarity, which could make a big difference in the gameplay, obviously. What he was talking about as a what I was about to say is that he saw one of these tutor cards as a replica of Philosopher's Stone in a way, like being able to have a second copy, because you could only have one unique in your deck, so you could only have one copy of Philosopher's Stone. But if you play the Highland Princess by Vincent Pompetti, also a unique, you could draw that, which allows you to search your deck for a I think how it goes is you search your deck for a relic that costs 1 or less. Artifact or relic, same thing. So it's like you could go search in your deck for the Philosopher's Stone and get that mana ramp. So it improves your odds of being able to play that. So that's a highly meta-relevant card. But Common Sense also is a highly played card. So that's a really nice hit for a sample card for sure. All right, guys, back to the wheel. We got, what, 6 left? Not bad. Good thing I had some water. I only drank coffee today. Badly dehydrated. All right, Destro. 1 of 2 for Destro. Take him off the wheel. Back to the overhead. Got Destro in the pile. There's his 2. Right off the top of the deck. All right. All right. You're right. We still have the elite or unique slot. So here's the first for Destro. Ooh. The Whirling Blades. Now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe one of you guys in the comments channel can remind me. I thought this was upgraded to an exceptional. That's another thing. The rarity levels also changed quite a bit from sample cards to final version. This is a beautiful artwork. A local guy that lives near me bought the original painting for this. I won't say who it is. But great guy. This is amazing Brian Smith artwork. A really cool, powerful card in the game in its final form. So, yep. All right. So he says, yes, it's an exceptional now. So this is an ordinary and sample form, now an exceptional. So that was a cool change. A Vicious Vortex of Ordinary Magic. Target-friendly airborne minion moves up to 2 steps in a cardinal direction and deals its attack damage to all enemies it whirls past. So isn't that... wasn't there an old school Magic card like that worked like that? Was it Berserk? Or was that just a damage accelerator? I forget. I don't know, but that is seems like a powerful card. You guys can tell me. with at an exceptional rarity, I assume they did that to limit the number of copies you could have in the deck. So now you could only have 3 versus in the early days you could have 4 if it were an ordinary rarity. So it's just an amazing artwork. I love those blue background tones in the Brian Smith artwork. He has that in Atlas Wanderers and a few other pieces, like the what do they call it? The porcupine pufferfish, something pufferfish. I think the name changed on that one, which I think is an underrated card. And I think actually the original painting I like much better than the kind of like, I don't want to say altered, but adjusted color depth that was used for the printing. And I'm not sure if that was more so. Sometimes that could be a matter of adjusting the print file itself, or just a function of the printer and the color tones and color saturation you get from the printing process itself. But in any case, the original painting on that's really awesome looking. All right, Skemp again. Second, this is the actually third of 3 for Skemp. So he's now off the wheel. And we're still looking for that unique or elite hit. Be interesting if it was an Atlas card. Someone said Mirror Realm earlier. So that would be a monster hit if that were the case. All right, so another ordinary. Swan Maidens, Asi Haikala. Very interesting artwork, quite different from his others. It's really interesting, guys. You got this big swan and then these swan ladies in the background. But look how he does like the water. It's just and the mirrored reflection of the water. Man, he is an extremely skilled artist. Really unbelievable. He does a lot of like old school classic 50 styles arts and advertisement type commissions traditionally. So Eric discovered him somehow, and he's a very unique and interesting artist that brings something unique and interesting to the game. All the artists have their own specific, unique signature styles, which makes it a beautiful set and a beautiful game and project in general. So that's a really cool artwork by Asi. Really beautiful. All right, guys. Next up on the wheel is going to be our first Atlas hit. Will it be the unique or elite? Let's go, says Facebook user. Again, if you're on Facebook, I don't know what your name is, so if you want to identify yourself, feel free. All right, WTK fan. Here we go. This is his, what did he have? 2, I believe, and this is his last from the deck. All right, or from the pack, excuse me. So we're moving from the wheel back to the overhead cam. WTK fan. Here we go. His first sample cards today. And he hits, you already won by hitting an Atlas card. Because those, I think, are quite rare, more rare than your average sample card. And here we go. Rotate it. Oh, that is a great hit. And I'll tell you why. Because I think, obviously these basic lands, so to speak, the Atlas cards, are very highly meta relevant. This is a beautiful looking card. Amazing artwork by Mikhail Nagypal. One of his 3 towers. So that is really nice to own in sample card form. And it's an Atlas card. So, I think those are going to be special and stand the test of time and be valuable both as sample cards and actually as alpha foils. So as people are selling their ordinary foils pretty cheaply these days, to me that is one to target and one that I'm trying to collect in my personal collection. So congrats, man. It's a really nice hit. Back to the wheel. We got 3 left, 3 cards. All right, so we didn't jack this up. That's good to hear. Somehow Dave Trog had 3 in the pack, and he's had to wait till the bitter end here. So let's give it a spin and see if he hits here. We're gonna get Destro first. A little more juice. Nah, right on the border, and they called for Dave Trog. All right. So second of 3 for Dave. Go back to the overhead, and it's interesting because one of you guys now are going to get that last Atlas card, and we still have not hit the unique or elite in this deck. Unless there was a collation error. We've seen some weird things, like Red Zone Rogue had a pack that only had 14 cards in it, and it was missing the unique or elite slot, which is really wild and insane. That's the only pack I've seen like that was shorted a card and shorted that particular slot of all of them. Of course, you could still get some huge exceptionals. So, all right. Here we go. Dave Trog. Cave Trolls. Drew Tucker. Another great Drew Tucker artwork. These hilarious trolls. You got this guy laughing at him, this guy with his massive, gnarly nose with that cringe face. Ordinary monsters digging in the dirt has burrowing. I think he still has his painting available, so who will be the brave soul that hangs this proudly in their living room for guests to see the cave trolls? It's a cool art piece. He's got such an imaginative style. Drew's awesome. Such a great, nice guy. He was at Gen Con with Jeff Menges. We're the two sorcery artists that happened to be at Gen Con this year, and all the fans really loved both of those guys. Super nice, and Drew's particularly approachable and easy to talk to and very friendly. So if you guys have the pleasure of meeting him at a con or at a art show, please do go talk to him. He loves to engage with the fans. It's a lot of fun. All right, Destro. So that means Dave Trogg's going to end up with the Atlas card. And one of you guys are going to end up with the Unique or the Elite. So Destro gets the last Spellbook card in the deck. And there it is, the Wall of Fire. Really nice. A real nice artwork by Matt Thames. An ordinary aura of pyromancy. And the freaking description here is a novel. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys have been playing the game, can tell me if they streamlined like the effect of this card. I think in a lot of cases they did do that. They tried to streamline the verbiage so it's a little easier to read and more aesthetically pleasing, I would say. It's probably like a combination of the two, Noah and Eric. So real nice Wall of Fire. You got an ordinary fire card for Destro. And then the last one, I'll go back to the wheel just to confirm this is the last. The last Atlas is the banger, right? So we would expect, we'll just give it a spin for fun. We would expect a Unique or an Elite and an Atlas. So unless this pack was jacked up and there's a collation issue, this should be the hit slot, the Unique or the Elite. And that's the end of it for the wheel. So we'll shut down the wheel. We're back to overhead cam. And let's minimize myself a bit. All right, guys. So hopefully this is indeed an Elite or Unique for Dave. Great guy. Again, great supporter. Has been in the Patreon a long time, so really appreciate Dave. He participates in a lot of the breaks, sample cards, and booster box breaks. So appreciate it, man. We get to you help make these things happen. It's a lot of fun for a lot of people, and I wish you the best of luck here. Hopefully, what do we want it to be, guys? Dave, is Dave on? I don't think I've seen Dave chime in. Somehow he was on my live last night. I think he made a comment, which was, man, I was going to like 10. It was like over 2 hour live, like impromptu. The baby fell asleep. My older two kids were watching TV late as hell. So I just went on for like 2 hours and I was shooting the shit, showing off tons of artist proofs from Vincent Pompetti. And then Jared Messing, Angerworm, joined me. And you color out of space. Yeah, I don't think that exists in sample card form. At least there's no evidence of that yet. I forget if there's even a Mirror Realm as a sample card. So this is going to be very interesting. I want to say that I did sell several through my auction platforms, and I think I sold. I'm trying to remember. Maybe a Maelstrom. So we could see a Seagrave artwork. There's another Seagrave Atlas card. I'm blanking on the name of it off the cuff. I think there might be a Vesuvius from Jussie Pilkis. Someone's betting it's a dual land. Well, it's got to be an Elite or Unique, so that really narrows it down. But let's have a look. I don't know that Dave's on, so hopefully you'll see this later. But what I was saying, he was on at like 10 o'clock last night, so he's probably sleeping in. It's as late as hell. He's in Europe. So here we go. Red Desert. Wait a minute here. So an ordinary. All right. So what did we miss an Elite or Unique? We got to go back here, guys. Something is amiss. All right. So we got an ordinary, 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 ordinary. All ordinaries. All right. So I'm going to put the ordinaries so we can look at this pack collation. So those are all ordinaries. The Vortex is an ordinary. Common Sense is an ordinary. Exceptional, ordinary, ordinary, ordinary. Exceptional, exceptional. Ordinary, ordinary. So again, robbed of the hit slot. That is unbelievable. So the unpredictability of these sample cards continues. As we would expect, we get 3 exceptionals, 1, 2, 3. But I think we got 12 ordinaries. So there was no unique or elite in this pack, which is the first time we've seen this happen. However, as I said, there was the Red Zone Rogue pack. He got 12 packs from the company, and he did it. You could go watch it on YouTube. There were 12 packs, and one of those packs only had 14 cards, and there was no elite or unique at all. He had I think he had, it must have been 11 ordinaries and 3 exceptionals, and no elite or unique. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ordinaries. Unbelievable. Wow. That is jacked. All right, so that is the variability we're learning here. We're learning something here with these sample cards, that you're not guaranteed an elite or unique. However, 99% of the cards do have that, or of the packs that we've seen. Every pack opening, with the exception of the Red Zone Rogue, only had 14 cards. Very odd. All of mine, I've done 4 pack openings. This is sample pack break number 4, and it had 15 cards, but it had an extra ordinary. So it's not guaranteed. The other ones, I pulled a King of the Realm unique. What else did I pull, guys, for hits? Self-same Simulacrum was the last one in the last pack. That was an elite. What was the third hit? I pulled another unique or elite. I want to say it was an elite probably in the third pack, but yeah. Sample packs, nothing for certain. That's right. This is early days. I mean, part of it, I guess, was the factory working out the collation of packs and, figuring things out, right? And, we believe, all evidence suggests that the pack collation is comparable to alpha, where we have, we should expect 11 ordinaries, 3 exceptionals, and 1 unique or elite. But, nothing's guaranteed in these sample packs, as they say. Test run. That's right, Nuvix. So, I mean, it's a test. It's a test print. It's testing everything. It's testing the collation. It's testing the print quality. It's testing the corner roundness. Various things that the company wanted to test. So there are your 3 hits, so to speak. I mean, in terms of rarity. And again, it's not all about rarity. If you get a basic land as a sample card, I think that's a big deal, and that's going to be highly relevant in the long term. Owning a test print of such a very highly significant meta-relevant card. The Men of Lang, the Blood Ravens. So the Lightning Bolt, again, I think is probably one of the top ordinaries. That's a very significant card and highly collectible. Common Sense, very playable card. So that's highly collectible. Whirling Blades, an ordinary that was upgraded to an exceptional. So that has some interesting history, and it's a very powerful card in the game. The silver lining here, so the 2 Atlas cards were both basic land cards. We got the Dark Tower from Mikhail Nagy-Paul, and then the Desert card from Aranja Art, or Rafaela Ketch is her real name here. So Red Desert, both ordinaries because they're the basic lands, but most people run 4 of those in their deck if they're playing Fire, or what is Dark Tower, an Earth card? They would run 4 of those in an Earth deck. And Earth is particularly powerful of the 4 elemental decks at the moment, or the 4 elemental avatars. All right, so that is the sample pack. If you guys want to hang out for a bit, we could talk about Sorcery. We can look at some interesting cards. So we got this card currently up for auction. It ends tonight. I think it was at $1,650 currently. So it ends tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. This is a curio, Francesca Berald, Eric's Curiosa. And now I'm going to go to the bag of Curio Dreams in a moment here. So you guys will want to stick around for this one. There's 22 people on. I think you guys will really like this. I'll just read a couple comments first. I mean, if Whirling Blades is exceptional and Land Deed is elite now, yeah, you can call Land Deed your elite, I guess, from this sample pack, even though it's an exceptional, right? That was upgraded to an elite. So, there was a lot of rarity changes, so things are wild. Yeah, LTA says sample cards are all too cheap. So it's a niche collectible, guys. I mean, these were very valuable a year ago when it was the only show in town, and people were like, the early adopters are super into the history of Sorcery. So am I. I've done like a ton of content on my, you go look at my early YouTube videos on Collector Arthouse YouTube, and go look at collectorarthouse.com, the articles that I wrote over the past 2 years. You know, people say I'm all business, all about the money. That's what the haters and the naysayers say now. But I've done like, for a year solid, I just did like tons of content just out of pure passion and interest in the project. And I top backed it, you know, when it was nothing. So, so I think that says it all. But I did a lot of content researching the history and the early development of the game. And sample cards were very interesting because they're extremely rare. There's been a tremendous amount of change. It really shows you a glimpse into the development of an indie TCG and all the evolution and hard work that goes into that. So that there's some really interesting content there on collectorarthouse.com in the interviews and articles page. And then also, like I say, some of the early YouTube videos talking about the art illustration development, and a lot of content on sample cards, their speculated, expected pop size at the different rarities, and they're all tremendously rare, even ordinaries, but especially exceptionals, elites, and uniques. Elites and uniques are stupid rare, like insanely rare. And then exceptionals are very, very rare as well on an individual card basis. So it's very interesting. What I wanted to show, if you guys want to, let me know if you want to see some artist proofs. But since I have a curio on the table, I wanted to start there and show you guys a few interesting things. So first, not a curio, but we have a Relentless Crowd promo. Really awesome card. There were only 100 of these printed. So let me, no, actually, Epic Sanchez. There is a P-Stone sample card, because I sold one. I auctioned one. I mentioned that earlier on if you joined late. It auctioned for $16,500 last year. It's like my largest record sale through my auction platforms on the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group and Collector Arthouse Discord. Is a record sale, biggest sale ever in Sorcery. Second biggest is Predestination for $10,000. Very significant, both sample card sales. So that's the high-end potential you can find in a sample pack. You can go, if you're on the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group, you can go and search the Facebook group, all public record. Search for, just type in sample card, scroll through the post feed, and you can see all the history of all the sales I did. And then if you're in my Patreon, and if you're in the Collector Arthouse Discord, I have exclusive Patreon channels where I've curated, I basically archived all of the auctions that I mirrored between the community Facebook group and the Collector Arthouse Discord, so you guys can go cleanly like look at all that price, sales, data history, and find that. But again, like, I'm not trying to paywall that. Again, you can just join the Facebook group. It's a public group. Anyone can join. You just agree to the rules, follow the rules, and you're in the group. Sorcery Contest Realm Community Facebook group. Search for sample card. Look at all the auction history for that price data. It's just an added benefit for Patreon that I curated and co-located and archive it in the Discord. It also serves a dual purpose to make sure that the Discord doesn't have a million auction channels, and that's certainly not all it is. People are talking about Sorcery every day. So the Relentless Crowd promo, 100 of these printed. It's a very rare item, really special. How many sample packs are out there? How many of them are silver and how many are art packs? There were 244 silver packs in the Kickstarter fulfillment pledge. As I mentioned, there were 12 art packs given to Red Zone Rogue for promotion purposes early on. He sold most of those cards to raise money to support his channel, is what he stated. And I basically reached an agreement with the buyer of the Red Zone Rogue lot. A lot of the sample cards that I auctioned were from that batch, as well as several other sources. But I sold like over 100 of those probably, or what's 12 packs times 15 cards, it's well over 100 cards. I auctioned a lot of those for many months over the past year, and they did very well. No, I'm not going to be asking, am I auctioning the Relentless Crowd? No, I very rarely ever sell anything of my own except for these sample packs, because I want to keep some of the sample packs, but I don't need all 12 for my top pledge tier. And so my collection tier rankings, personally for me, is original paintings, artist proofs with paintings or sketches on the back, because I'm into art first and foremost, and then probably curios for the historical novelty of it, and then maybe it would be sample cards and other kind of niche categories, historical type things. So I'd rather take that cash and invest in what I love, which is original art and paintings and artist proofs and things. So, that's basically what I do. I go for the paintings. So Relentless Crowd. However, I keep most things. I don't sell them. What's up, Soph? Oh, what's that? Go show mommy what you got there. Tricked her. So I don't sell my own stuff too much, guys. And I'm keeping my Relentless Crowd promo for sure. All right, so that's that card. Now we're going to get into some interesting stuff. Grim Tangle. Excuse the dirtiness of the case and the scratches on the case. But you have the Grim Tangle Curio. Drew Tucker. A lot of interesting details here. With this clock wheel type mechanic that's now removed from the game. You have the symbols for the casting cost, which is more, it harkens back to Magic, I think, more directly. That looks like the swamp, black mana to me from Magic. You don't have the set symbol anymore. You don't have the set numbers. It says Kickstarter 2019 and full art 25,300 art copyright Drew Tucker. So the Grim Tangle, that's a pretty special one. Big Drew Tucker fan. Big Mikhail Nagypal fan. So the Murder of Crows. Being Animal. Right? Again, you have the symbols. Almost looks like the planes from Magic. White mana resource. Murder of Crows. This illustration was not used in a mainstream card. So it's another artwork illustration that Mikhail Nagypal did, and it shows up only as a curio. So that's very unique and special. Again, it has the wheel. Being Animal. Very interesting. I'm not sure where he was going with that in terms of early design. So it's a fascinating card, fascinating artwork. What's this? A Sorcerer? Gridlord. One of the early names of Sorcery TCG, the Gridlord. Super cool, interesting, fascinating curio. There's also Spellcraft. And after I show this, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with Spellcraft. If you're newer to the channel, you may not be familiar with what Spellcraft is. One of my favorites, one of the most polarizing, one of the most hated and loved, the 9-piece. The 9-piece curio. And that looks a little cleaner. The beautiful, in my opinion, the historic, the epic 9-piece curio card. I love this card. If anyone is not a fan of this card and wants to let it go, come talk to this guy. I would take this card all day. I love it. There's so much history in it. It's super cool looking, in my opinion. It looks awesome. It's one card, guys. Here you can see it for scale, right? Gridlord, 9-piece. One card, 9 cards in one. Super cool. A lot of history. I wrote a very detailed article on Collector collectorarthouse.com breaking down each one of these cards. I contacted several of the artists and got a lot of information about the history of these cards and how and why they may have shown up as a curio, on a curio. And then also one of the most beautiful curios, in my opinion, The Great Belfry by Drew Tucker. A legendary sight. So legendary is not a rarity that persevered in the game. I really like the background of the game mechanic text box here. Again, you get the wheel, you gain 1 potency, a resource that doesn't exist anymore in Final Alpha. Drew Tucker, great artist. The set symbol, the Kickstarter 2019, and again, the full art 25 of 300. Really epic. Yeah, how could you hate the One Piece is a great question. I have no idea. I don't know what people are thinking. I love the 9-piece. I think it's epic. So there you have several amazing curio cards. Quite a collection. Never before seen outside of the Collector Arthouse. And then you have the sketch card. This one is being offered and is currently live for auction, ending at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So there's your opportunity to own one of the best cards. And then what I want to show you guys... Let's get into another piece of history. So we just saw Gridlord. And I was recently having some fun and photographed this for the channel and for some of my platforms. And here you have a beautiful Sorcery Contested Realm Alpha binder. Really cool. If you guys haven't seen these yet, it has the, it's going to be hard to see. I don't want to zoom again. So you got the Alpha symbol on the zipper tag there. So that's very cool. The Alchemist Bench. What's up, buddy? So here you have a very nice, extensive collection. The largest that exists, to my knowledge, out there in the wild. I got to hold it at an angle because I got a lot of glare from my overhead lights. But these Spellcraft cards are something special. Here you have it in Atlas form. So Spellcraft. I really thought we would find a curio of these. My optimism for that is kind of running thin since a lot has been opened and shared, and we have not seen one. For some reason, somehow, some way, we have not seen one as a curio, but we have seen one for Gridlord. So it's a little unfortunate. You know, it totally makes sense to do this, to have a Spellcraft for the Atlas. I've how many? 9, 11 Spellcraft Atlas sites, and then several here of the Spellcraft spellbooks. So very interesting piece of history, an idea for the early design, different design. You know, this is the artwork that was used in the final version of the card for Alpha, of course, but you have Sorcery Contested Realm there, and then over the arch it says an Eric's Curiosa project, instead of being blank like that. But it's a really beautiful aesthetic. The color tones of these are a little different. They're square cut, but you can kind of see the rounded outline. So they're not like factory printed. I think these were printed locally by Eric or like an early employee or consultant that was helping with the early development of the game. And then I can take a few out here and show you guys what we're looking at here from the side loaders. I have them sleeved up and inserted in these slots. If I can get it out. There we go. Okay. So they're very interesting. The color saturations are quite different because they are not factory printed. They're just an interesting piece of history. You know, valuation, debatable, but an amazing collectible. Something super cool that I was into as a historian of the game. So it's something I wanted to chase down and collect. And I was very fortunate to get this lot. And there's some interesting ones in here. I put them backwards for the photo op opportunity, but I'll probably like re-slot them so I actually know what each one is and I can enjoy them, or do some mix, you know, if I have double. Look at that. There's the Cerberus. You get a piece of history, right? Because it used to say Shackle Cerberus instead of Cerberus in chains. So these are also an elite, right? I think it ended up being a unique. It is a unique in the alpha version. So what I'll do is I'll turn these as I go here. It's like that guessing game where you got to remember what slot's what. But I wanted to show you, there's another Common Sense. So we got 2 copies of that. Oh, was I off screen there a bit? I have a zoom going. So let me grab a few here. There's some very interesting ones in this collection. There's a Rattlesnakes by McCall. Very cool. All right, let's go to this side of the binder. Are these from different badges? Some are so off-centered while others are so well-centered. What do you mean by badges? These are locally printed and presumably locally cut, you know? So they're not cut by the, look at the Manicore, Melissa Benson, an Elite Beast. So they're not cut by the factory. I think they were just hand-cut by, again, either Eric himself or one of the early developers or consultants who was helping in some aspect of the development of the game early on. So they're very unique. You know, they're not a mainstream collectible. No one really owns these. I think in my Patreon, one of my patrons offered these up to other patrons. So several of those guys were fortunate to be able to collect some of these through his generosity to resell them. So it's another one of like the unspoken, unwritten benefits of the Collector Arthouse Patreon. We have a lot of early adopters of the game that have some interesting things, and they take care of each other, and they do buy, sell, trade. So here you have the Scavenging Fiend. This is interesting from Dan Seagrave because Eric actually inverted the original artwork. So the direction that this monster guy, the Fiend, is traveling was inverted and flipped for the card. So There's some very interesting historical illustration nuances to these as well that we were able to capture and reveal through talking with the artists and also observing the original painting relative to how it ended up looking in the final card print for alpha, right? So, oh, had a personal message there popped up. I don't know, it didn't come up on the stream, I don't think. Battering ram. Oh, right, I was going to show you the Elvira cards. Let me see how much time I got. I got a few things going on today. All right, sweet. I'm working something out, guys, to, like I was telling you earlier, here you go, Rolling Boulder. I'm trying to acquire more original paintings, and it looks like I might have something lined up. I might acquire one. There might be some auction opportunities coming too. Rolling Boulder. So it's a Doug Kovacs artwork. There was a different artist that did Rolling Boulder. I think it was Jesse Pilkis. So this is kind of like an alternate art of sorts, and I'm speculating that we might see those in revised. We could potentially see it as a curio in beta, perhaps. We don't know what the beta curios will be. But it's very interesting to see those different artworks that were not used for alpha, but were commissioned under the same name. And there's test print files or these Spellcraft local prints, which are unofficial, but could give us a speculative glimpse into the potential future of sorcery, design, and decisions. Another rattlesnake. So some of these I have duplicates of, so I may consider trading those or selling them potentially, as I do want to acquire curios and paintings and things. So if you guys want to sell via my consignment services, the Scorch Spiders, Brian Smith, you can do that, and I can help you sell your cards through my network. Or if you want to trade with me, just reach out. You know how to find me. Reach out anytime, and we can work out some deals. Because I'm a passionate collector. I have a nice personal collection myself, and I like the old, historic, and rare stuff. Peasant Rebellion. My guy, Andrea Modesti. I will never deal a Modesti card. Probably. Unless I have multiple copies. I really love Modesti, man. I don't know. I have a special connection to Italians in a way. Maybe that's part of it. But he's just such a nice, genuine guy. Very sweet guy. And I love his artwork. I love his style. So I own a few of his paintings. I just can't get enough of Modesti. Awesome artist. And if I remember correctly, I think he was the first ever artist commissioned for Sorcery Contested Realm. And he's done a lot of art for Sorcery. There's another Grey Wolves. So we have a couple of those from Melissa Benson. Yeah, Alchemist Ben says, I hope we see Peasant Rebellion pop up at some point. I definitely believe that we are likely to see that. It seems like it could be quite fitting for Arthurian Legends, would be my guess. Now, there's another one. So I do have two of those. Peasant Rebellion. 2 Spellcraft Peasant Rebellions. Really special. Awesome. Yeah, but I love Andrea, guys. If you have an Andrea Modesti painting, I'd be interested in talking with you. If there was a curio, I would buy it in a heartbeat or trade for it. I love the Macau curios. I would love to acquire a Wind Blast or a Bloom of Frogs. 2 beautiful curios, in my opinion. Man, these sleeves are not ideal for the binder. They're really difficult to get out. They do fit very nicely, but once they're in there, they want to stay in there. But it's my own fault. There's another Modesti. That's my own fault for stuffing them in there backwards for the photo op. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is... Let's leave it there, guys. We saw several interesting ones. There was something else I wanted to show you guys. Go back and watch my live from last night. You know what? And you can see the Vincent Pompetti. Several artist proofs for Vincent Pompetti. They'll be coming soon. I did want to... I guess I'll go ahead and show you. Actually, here's something you might like to see. Well, there is this. Look for a giveaway or some kind of event, or for the random pack. This was a pack that was found in a booster box that a very generous community member sent to me to be able to give back to the channel. So I think I'll open this up on stream and do like a giveaway event for you guys. With that one, that's pretty interesting. But we also have, you might see come to auction someday, probably several weeks, if not months away, but potentially the Braum, the Grail of Grails, the top collectible in all of Sorcery, arguably. Definitely in the curio category. But here is your Death Speaker. The Death Speaker curio from Sorcery Contested Realm Alpha. Absolutely stunning. Legendary artist Braum. Playable alternate art avatar, the Death Speaker. Sorcery Contested Realm Alpha. Curios are something special, something fun to chase. And there it is, guys. So that's not going to be ready for a bit. We're trying to figure out what to do with that one. Timing. How to make it available. Likely auction. Timing uncertain at the moment. But we got that. This is something really amazing and incredible. I'll be working with Truett Parish soon to offer artist proofs. So I have a full set of artist proofs from Truett, and I actually have to send these back to him because he got a little too excited to sell his first artist proofs. And he sent me a complete set here, right, guys? So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in the Alpha set. There's your Crusade and Jihad, your Border Militia, your Spin Attack, your Vanguard Knights, and your Highland Clansmen. If I had to pick personal favorites, it's these 4. The Crusade and Jihad, which are 2 separate art pieces, right? That were they were merged for a playmat because they're so fitting together. A yin and yang type concept, I guess, or 2 warriors like going after each other in battle. The Vanguard Knights is a very interesting piece, and the Highland Clansman is just so beautifully done. Really nice. So I got to send these back to Truett because he sent them to me, but he forgot to sign and number them. You know, numbering's no big deal. Some artists don't want to number them, which is cool. It's fine. Or some fans aren't into that as much. But what he needs to do is sign and print them. So I got to send them back to him. He'll do that. And then he'll send them back to me, and then they'll be available for auction. But look how awesome his style is and how unique his style on these proofs are. First card, Crusade. Incredible design. And again, guys, I don't dictate whether the artists want to take commissions or not. A lot of the artists decide for themselves that they don't have the time in their busy schedule to do that, or they don't. They find it too much pressure to, try to satisfy fan expectations based on vague descriptions or timing. They can't commit to timing because they're very busy in their schedule. So it's taken a long time. It's taken a while for these artists to do this. But most importantly, I think a lot of them are just amazing creatives, and they want to develop their own concepts in their own personal creative style, which is amazing. That's why we love this game. That's why we love these artists. So it gives them an opportunity to do 25 new concepts and express their own creative vision in their own unique way. So this is the first for Crusade for Truett Parish. Beautiful, amazing artwork. I'll send this back to him. He'll get it signed and numbered, and that'll be one. So Jihad, all of them are really amazing concepts. Look at it. I love the scale. I love the idea of a large, prominent central figure balanced by some other lower, smaller figures to show power and scale of these warriors. So there's the Jihad, the god basically that rules over the lands and means business. You got Vanguard Knights. Beautiful, exceptional artwork. And there's your lead knight leading the charge into battle. Super cool, man. Really interesting. Beautiful backgrounds he did on these too. Real nice paint blends he has. Spin Attack. The Ordinary. The guy looking like he's being crucified on his sword, hunching over on wounded knee over the dragon who's leading the charge into battle, and this abstract dragon flying overhead, creating a background for this soldier carrying the heavy burden of battle and the large sword. Amazing concept. Such a young, talented guy, you know, to be at this level already, this early in his artistic career. Really phenomenal. The Highland Clansman. Look at that. Again, such an amazing, brilliant concept. A large, prominent, powerful figure, huge axe weapon in hand, leading the charge like a god in battle, and then beautifully balanced by these crows flying overhead. Stunning, man. These are unbelievable. Really brilliant, creative storyteller. And finally, the Border Militia. Again, it's something with this scale, right? Something about it that just makes it look super classic and iconic. He's really into this abstract style. So it's not really about the super refinement and detail. That almost adds to the element, the abstract aspect of it, compositionally too. The large figure, the large house. He's like as large as the house, right? Presiding over this fleet of border militia. Absolutely amazing. What a creative, spectacular artist. What a beautiful set. Artist proofs, guys. One of the very best top collectible in card form, in my opinion, are the artist proofs. So I told you my tiers: original paintings, then artist proofs, painted or sketched, and that is the dream when collecting. All right, so there's that, and then let's see. Give you one more preview. Like I say, we'll probably have a claim sale for the Vincent Pompetti artist proofs, and I have a complete set, couple sets now, actually, from Elvira Palikowska. Elvira Palikowska, great artist, Grim Dream, beautiful artist and architect. Grim Dream is her brand. You know her as Elvira Palikowska, and let's admire some of her beautiful work. She's all about the detailed sketches. The Great Wall. Here's the minions coming over the wall. So this is the 2 of 25 series, right? The Great Wall, the iconic Doomsday Device. Look at the incredible detail. So we got the 2s and the 3s in here. Awesome. The Battering Ram. We just pulled this in sample card form. Really awesome ink sketch detail. The Haste Eagle, an exceptional. Wow, look at that eagle. That's phenomenal. I love how they accentuate one of the aspects of the original painting composition. We get to see a unique take. There's the 2 of 25, the eagle soaring overhead. Man, beautiful landscape. The form, I guess, you know, like the posture of the character really tells a story in these artworks. Really awesome. Windmill landscape. Wow, beautiful scenic windmill. Nice picturesque rolling hills and bridge. Awesome. Rest in peace. There's your elite. The architect, guys. I love how she does the ink dots too. That gives it a lot of texture, a lot of depth. The all-terrain vestments, the elite armor. Awesome, man. Incredible detail. Yes, there is an infiltrate proof. That'll be coming up. There it is. A different take on the all-terrain vestments. In the suit. Super cool. Here's your infiltrate, man. I actually auctioned an infiltrate, Sean. You must have missed it. There was one that sold. There she is. So the other one, she had like a frontal perspective of this woman in her dress, right? That sold, I think it was in the last week or two. It was fairly recent. Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group. and Collector Arthouse Discord. Make sure you're on both of those. You could find it in the Linktree link in all of my videos. But you want to make sure you're in those groups so you don't miss these offers. Magellan Globe. Wow, look at the beautiful Magellan Globe with the chapel background. See the outside of the architectural structure, so a different take on that. Here's the globe in the library, more true to the original art concept. Very nice. Land deed, right? We just saw that as an exceptional in the sample break. And there you have it was upgraded to an elite. There's your scribe, your pen, your candle. Really nice. Incredible detail. Another land deed. Beautiful detail. There's your land deed stamp. There's your contract. Awesome. So well done. We'll do one more stack and then we'll call it. I gotta get going. All right. 2 of 25. Oh. There you go. The battering ram. So he's carrying the ram and it's got a ram's head. Amazing. The ram's head at the end of that. That's super cool. Mariner's curse. There is the poor cursed soul at the forefront of the ship, leading the stern of, is it the stern of the ship? And there she is in purgatory. The siege ballista, an exceptional weapon. There's your ballista. Really cool. Another take on the ballista, number 3 of 25. Awesome. Rest in peace. So the second of this we've seen. There's your morbid angel of sorts in the cemetery. Grieving for the lost souls. Great wall. Let's see if we get the monsters again coming over the wall. It's a different vantage point and perspective. You have the soldiers at the top trying to defend themselves from the horrors. Looming over the wall. The disenchant. Another beautiful architectural piece. Second take on disenchant. And then we're going to get dispel. So that'll be interesting. All right. Dispel number 1 and dispel number 2. There you go. So 2 and 3 out of the 25. Beautiful, detailed sketch work from Elvira Palikowska. So look for those sale offers. Again, join all of my Facebook groups, all of my Discords. Make sure you're looking for those announcements. There's going to be some great opportunities to acquire some of the most beautiful art, original one-of-one artworks for this special art and game project, okay? It's not bad to call it an art project. That's perfectly fine. It is a beautiful art project, and it's a wonderful game that a lot of people enjoy. You know? And every artist has their own unique, beautiful style. And every artist proof is a one-of-one. So much fun to collect. All right, guys. I think we're about going to call it there. Appreciate you guys tuning in and bearing with me here. Having some fun for an hour and a half on a Saturday morning. And we'll talk soon, all right? So look for those opportunities. We'll do more sample pack breaks. I usually advertise those in the Collector Arthouse Discord, so please join Discord if you would like, or contact me privately if you're not on Discord. I don't want anyone to miss out. I'm finding that like when I schedule the breaks, people jump in like the day of or the day before, and they're like, how do I get in on this break? And then I feel bad that they weren't able to be part of it. I just noticed I had some laundry drying over here. Unbelievable. So if you want in on the next one, there will be more sample pack break opportunities. We'll probably get back to alpha box breaks sooner or later. I'm just kind of slow rolling out those because I want to have alpha product for the long haul months, weeks, months, years from now to reflect back on alpha and have fun opening that. So I'm not in a rush to do those. I'm focusing more on sample cards and artist proofs at the moment. So do you have any info or thoughts on upcoming beta launch? Yeah, that's a whole nother topic unto itself. I think when I launched the weekly podcast that I was talking about earlier, we'll get into that topic in more detail. I don't want to start that now. I'm sorry, we're almost out of time. Her proofs are ace. Yeah, Elvira proofs are beautiful. I love the channel, but how do you know how to play it? I love the channel, but how do you not know how to play the game yet? Well, try having 3 kids, 8, 5, and 2 years old. That's how. And like all the social media platforms I have, and artist promotion efforts I do, and content creation I do. I got to pick and choose, guys. And if I'm playing games, I can't do a lot of these other things that I do, in terms of collecting, in terms of like writing, researching the history of the project, and doing video content on that, and articles and things. So that is the limiting factor. I have had some generous offers for some locals to teach me the game. I just need to negotiate with the wife when I could get away for an afternoon and spend a few hours playing the game. But, you know, I've played enough games that I can read the cards and know generally what they do. I know that's not the same as experiencing the real-life interaction, though, so I do hope to do that pretty soon. We'll look out for proof sales. Yeah, man, stay tuned, definitely. Those will be coming. We do auctions pretty much every day, but there'll be some more larger sales where you can buy at fixed prices as well coming up for some of the artists and some of the cards. Yeah, congrats on the sample cards. Yep, it was a nice opening. Unfortunately, we didn't hit the elite or unique. It was an odd pack, but we got some very interesting samples. There's always interesting samples in every pack. Oh man, Nerd and Profit, buddy. What did I miss? Yeah, you need to go back and watch the video. It will post right after this or soon thereafter, after it processes, I guess. StreamYard automatically posts it to YouTube. But we had a lot of fun. I showed a lot of artwork, a lot of unique, original one-of-one artist-proof artwork that you might be interested in. I was not personally at Gen Con. Fortunately, I couldn't go this year. Just the going to Indianapolis for a week was a bridge too far for me and my family. I will be at the IX Art Show in Reading, Pennsylvania in October. So I very much look forward to hopefully meeting a lot of you guys there and meeting the 5 sorcery artists that will be there. Reach out to your patrons if you need help in terms of learning how to play the game. But yeah, I appreciate the support, guys, on Patreon. If you want to go check out Collector Arthouse Patreon, it's very generous of you guys. Helps me manage like the operating costs and justify to my wife the time that I invest into sorcery, doing content and all the other efforts, and my kids. So the art show in Pennsylvania is the LuxCon Art Show, IX Art Show. It's in Reading, Pennsylvania every October. It's a great art show. It has a lot of wonderful fantasy artists. Boris Vallejo was there last year. Jeff Easley, Jeff Menges, Drew Tucker. This year we're going to have Drew Tucker, Jeff Menges, Liz Danforth, Alan Pollock. He was there last year. He'll be there this year. And am I missing? Shoot, I think. Margaret Organ Keene was there last year and this year. So those are your 5 that'll be there this year. Great opportunity to meet the artists, buy original paintings from them, probably buy artist proofs from them, and maybe play mats and things. I don't know. Prints. They'll have all types of things. Get your card signed. Great event. Great people. Wonderful to engage with them in person. All right, guys. Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Great message. Enjoy sorcery however you want to. If you want to play the game, play the game. If you want to collect, collect. If you want to invest and speculate, invest and speculate. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about how you enjoy the game personally for yourself. It's a personal decision. No way is wrong. It's a personal decision. It's all opinion-based. Life is personal. Enjoy it how you decide to enjoy it. All right, guys, that's all. If you want in on the auction for the curio, that ends tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll launch another one. Another usually 24-hour auctions. Sometimes on the weekend we do 48 hours. Or do all 3. Collect, invest, play. That is the way. All right, guys, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care.